Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite warlock here and practicing necromancer. And tonight I was doing some tarot card readings. Did a nice, very good, you know, ritual tonight of invocation with a black scrying mirror, and I actually uploaded a video of that rite. I didn't have any noise or any sound to it, just a visual little taste of that ritual at the end. So it was actually very relaxing. So I went in, got cleaned up. Fortunately, that was a very frigid shower. Found out that I'm not the only apartment in the complex that has been calling the landlord. So apparently, there's something going on with the boiler. So maintenance has to come over, and I'm actually waiting on that. So with that said, I don't mind cold showers because practicing necromancer, getting closer to death, reminds you of being a cadaver. You know what I mean? So if not, it's okay. Not everybody's cut out to be a necromancer. But yeah, it was a interesting 30 minutes. So I'm actually waiting to see what maintenance does. They may come over and check out the boiler, which is about 2 floors down from me, literally right underneath me. Whereas the elevator's right over on the other side of that wall. So it's like a double whammy. Nobody ever wanted this freaking apartment. Fucking funny as all hell. Not to mention people have died in this apartment. There was a fire in this apartment. So it's basically an accursed object. So obviously I moved in about 10 years ago and just never left. So yeah, fun. So anyways, I thought while I'm waiting on maintenance, or to see at least what they're willing to do, since there's been numerous complaints, I would do a reading for you guys, an open read. So this will probably resonate with some of you, if not all of you, in their own unique way, but it's there. So let's just lay these down and see what we got. Ooh, kind of picked up from yesterday. Ooh, with a potential client. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So we've got physical applications being the knives, the spiritual matters of the scepters, and two, not one, but two major arcana. So here we have the Queen of Knives. The Queen of Knives is a physical application, its hardships, but also the responsibilities and dual um, responsibilities is the term that I should use. Because when we're dealing with the physical, we're dealing with numerous different things from family, friends, personalized relationships, even our jobs. Like, I'm going back to work tomorrow morning, not looking forward to it. I really could care less about it. That's how bored I am at that job right now. But on the up note, I'm having fun, studying necromancy, thanatology, archaeology, anthropology, and so forth. So you see where the decisive duality is in this when it comes to responsibilities, because even though it's not your favorite thing to do, the wisdom behind it is that you got to show up and actually put the work in. Okay. And as you all know from history, and those of you who actually watch TV, probably seen shows like the Game of Thrones, Reign, um, some of those movies with kings and rulers and stuff like that from the old days. The responsibility is not your own. You basically have other people's lives in your hands. Could be your children, your better half, even coworkers that you are their manager, their team lead. You know, positions of power, basically, and authority. You're appointed by your stature, basically. The wisdom of a raven is one of knowledge. It's one of purified, how should I say this? It's one that was, it was my better half. As I said, responsibilities. It's one where you rule over a certain amount of bodies, so to speak. In this case, I have a son, a better half. I have animals that depend on me. I have coworkers that depend on me for my job because I do all the prep work. I'm basically the senior dietary aide right now. I report directly to the chef. And it's interesting that if I don't do my job, then they can't do theirs. Okay. I work in a kitchen at a long term living center. It's and so you see that it doesn't just affect my coworkers or my family because if I don't do my job, they don't get paid. And I will be right back. Look up, buddy. All righty. Okay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Um, that was maintenance. They decided to show up instead of calling. Normally they call first, But anyways, as I was saying, responsibilities affect not just you, but your family and your coworkers. You have a lot of responsibility, and when you're the head of a household, your responsibility is not to yourself, but to your family. So a lot of times when you get the queen, it's normally about nurturing. It's normally about the responsibility of doing the work and putting it forth through what is known as personal parenting. Okay. Now, personal parenting is, in my opinion, and this is my own perspective here, where normally a woman is considered, from the JCI and Hebraic systems, is considered to be the nurturer, the caregiver. But when in my family we have a an inside joke because my better half works as a CNA and a HBP. I'm the one that wears the apron in the family because I work in a kitchen. You know, I don't just do dishwashing and prep work and all that other stuff. So it's kind of like it's literally an inside joke in my family. So I'm the one that takes care of our son most of the time, but when he's here. So I mean, it's mostly because she works overnights, whereas I work morning. And And so it's that responsibility of stepping up to the plate and it's going, okay, got to make sure your son is fed. Got to make sure that the cats are fed. You know, the pets, if you have any, got to go to work. Make sure all the dishes are set up, the dishwasher's ready to go, everything's written down. You know, temperature wise. You got to make sure that all the drinks and all the carts are set up. Got to make sure that the salads are made. Got to make sure that all the desserts are up and running. You name it. There's a long, 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 long list that somebody like me has to do. Okay, and I don't get any help, so I'm basically doing the work of 5 people. So you single mothers out there, I got a lot of respect for you. I do, and you got to respect the queen, not just because of the fact that she's a woman, but you got to respect the title. Okay. Now, the next card is the magician. The magician is the sorcerer, and a lot of times you're doing the sleight of hand tricks, you're doing the faking it until you make it, so to speak. Because a lot of times when you get into a work detail or you're doing magic, not everything goes according to plan. Those of us who have been in this long enough knows that you have your will and your what you're planning on doing, and then you have what the spirits that you're working with and the universal rules and regulations, and that the universe has its own way of doing things. So when it comes to magic, it could be you're not doing something right, you're not applying yourself in a certain way. You may want to kind of take that step back and kind of do some observation either through yourself or on yourself, your daily activities. In this case, I would recommend remote viewing. Okay. What is remote viewing? Remote viewing is a technique used to observe in a third party mannerism, I guess you can call it, where if I'm studying on, say, my trying to picture my bookcase out in the other room that has all my occult books and everything, I'd be looking at this, okay, from right here in the bedroom, okay? Even if I was in my altar room, I could do this. I could just play it over because I've seen it a dozen times. If I'm at work, you know, hell, I'm not the only one who goes to work and all of a sudden it's like, why did I come in here? What is it that I missed? Why did I come in here? What was the purpose behind it? Okay. Anytime you have an event that just doesn't go according to plan, you might want to sit back and kind of just go, okay, I've got to review this. meditate, get into a meditative state, light the candles, the incense, and just peer into your own mind. Remote viewing is a technique that allows you, as a practitioner, to view not just the events of the day, but also anything you do as a practitioner. Okay. When you're working in your journal, your ritual journal or your grimoire, and you're recollecting what you as an individual has been seeing, maybe something that you did that you normally wouldn't do, or something that you didn't do in the ritual room. Remote viewing will help you figure that out. And as you can see, the magician's upside down, it's in reverse, which means it's in shadow. And it's the same thing with the next card, which is the Two of Scepters. So you don't just got the magician card in reverse, but you've also got the Two of Scepters in reverse. Okay, I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit so you can actually see them. Okay, the magician, Two of Scepters. Okay, whereas the Queen of Knives. Okay, now the thing about the Two of Scepters is it doesn't just deal with your spiritual. It doesn't just deal with your magical practices. It could be a matter of lack of faith and a lack of belief in what you're doing. Now, anybody who's been in the traditions long enough knows that there are things that you're going to be employing into your physical life. Okay. So let's say, for an example, you did a ritual on abundance of finances. Okay. A lot of people today want that easy button. They want that snap of the finger. Oh my God, I got $1 million. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way. The chains, okay? Notice the chains surrounding his waist, okay? This is the masculine aspects. You have Mars. This is the influence of Mars, unfortunately. And what's interesting about Mars is it's a warrior planet. It is a planet of hardship. You have to fight, or in this case, you're not fighting, okay? You're not fighting for what you believe. You're not fighting for what you're desiring. And the Two of Scepters is a path of not only of servitude, but it is also one of faith, not only in yourself, in your practices, in what you do, but it's a way that allows you as an individual to grow, to move forth and break down those structures, those blockages, so to speak. Mars, being the masculine planet, Aries, a fire planet, so to speak, is one that allows you to fight through desire. Okay. And as you can see in the background, and I want to show this to you as well, notice the tower in the background with the flame on top. Fire represents purity. And in a lot of the old religions and old philosophies, it is a purifying agent. It is one that allows you to forge your destiny and your path. If you think about this for long enough, you have Azazel in demonolatry. In demonolatry, Azazel, he is the angel of darkness. He is the one that teaches mankind how to forge weapons, excuse me, weapons and shields. Okay? He teaches women how to paint their faces. Okay? And what's interesting is if we go back into alchemy, into alchemy. We see the Sumerian fire and ice technique. Fire is what you use to forge the metals of the earth. Okay. When we're doing alchemical changes, taking one property, breaking it down to its base elementals, and then reconstructing it into something new. Think of the Philosopher's Stone. Same exact thing. Okay. This is something that you, as the practitioner, has got to learn how to do. Sad fact, you got to learn to crawl before you walk. But if you think about this long enough, there are things that you got to fight for, things that you got to do on your own. And then there are those things that will just be given to you out of the blue. You may even be guided out of the blue to these particular pathways. Okay. Now, unfortunately, death also is in this reading. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, we're going to die. Well, guess what? Just because you draw the death card doesn't mean you're going to die. Okay. Death is basically a process that you go throughout just about every aspect of your life. It could be the ending of a job. It could be the ending of your romance department. It could be the ending of a family life. It could be the ending of a long-term friendship. Okay, and unfortunately, Mercury plays a huge part in this on this card as well. Mercury is not just a death card, but it's basically a dead planet. You're also dealing with serpents in this case. So the death card will allow you to get rid of things that you don't need. Okay. You may be fighting to hold on to something that you need to get rid of. Remember when I said alchemical change about taking a structure, breaking it down to its most simplistic nature, and then getting rid of it, creating something new? Normally, a reading like this would entail the Tower card, and the Tower card basically represents the tearing down of structures so that you can create something new. But unfortunately, that card is not in this reading. So the death card is basically another term for this, where you basically are letting go of something that's no good for you. Okay, it's killing you in a way that is almost vampiric in nature. So, if you don't get rid of that, it could be something psychological. It could be something physical. It could be something spiritual. It could be anything that you're dealing with or going through that is draining you and keeping your energy real low. And that unfortunately is something that's dealing with the main issue, which is physical. Okay. So moving on, you also have another royalty card, the Prince of Scepters, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Notice the sun in the background. Ironic. The inverted heart hanging from the neck. The prince is normally symbolized as a player. When you look into royal families, what happens? They're more like overgrown playboys, basically, going from one woman to another, or just horsing around, not taking anything serious. They don't have anything better to do. So it's really the opposite side of the queen, because the queen has authority. The queen has a duty to uphold. The king is the same way, the lord, okay? But the prince and the daughter is to carry herself with a certain elegance. The prince, unfortunately, doesn't not always have a responsibility. Okay. Sure, he shows up at the gatherings and all that, but is he really there? Okay. In this case, he's in the light aspect, which means he is there. And it's something good for you. The death card is also in light, along with the Queen of Knives. This all indicates that letting go of something that's painful or harmful to you, it's going to be painful. It may even seem like it's the end of the world, but in reality, it's going to set you up for something better. Okay. And that's something that is very good. When you get rid of something that's hurtful and painful to you, there's an old expression. I would rather have one good friend than 100 backstabbers. One good friend is better than 100 backstabbers. That fits this situation perfectly because in a royal setting, even in an inner court, you got everybody out for themselves trying to manipulate, trying to get ahead. And in a world like the one we live in today, this rings truer than anything because everybody's out for themselves, and you have not quite learned to be that magician and apply your will on the universe. Projection, projecting your will. You're not fighting for the things that you desire most. And that's the sad fact. If I told you half the people that come to me through my messenger, they want everything now. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to pay for the services. They don't want to do anything. They just want it handed to them on a golden platter. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where you need to step up. Get rid of some the things that are painful, that is killing you, so that you can become and gain something better. Use the wisdom. Use the wisdom and the knowledge that you possess for something better. Like I said at the beginning, I don't know your situation. I don't know it. This is a blind reading. All I can tell you is that you're dealing with the physical, the knives. Knives are physical, it's immortal. Scepters. Scepters are spiritual, magical. And then you have the two arcana, the sorcerer and the death card. Death in folklore, and I want to put this out here, is the fact that death is a major player. It's something that has to take place for something else to survive and to grow, to be born. In Wicca and paganism, the tradition states to be born, birth, and death. Life and death and rebirth is the term. If you think about it, something has to die for something to live. Somebody who's dying can take their organs and put it into heaven, put into somebody who is dying so that they can live and have a second chance at life. Blood is the essence of life and death. Without it, you're dead. With it, you live. The mind is the most potent thing. Control the mind, the body must follow. Discipline is key. Learn the sorcery. Learn your path. I would recommend meditation. I would recommend remote viewing to you. I would recommend intense study and focus upon your life and what you're doing. And then from there, project your will out into the universe, because only then will you begin to grow. But remember your responsibilities. Remember your responsibilities, because that is going to be something that is your personal responsibility, because you have to be the one to look after your interests. All right. Lily Lucy, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I figured as much. Organic Black, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you on this channel before, but eh, death can mean a lot of things, Lucy, and unfortunately, that's only one small aspect of it. But yeah, but like I said, I thought I would do a reading for you guys. I'm getting ready for bed because I have to be up at 4 a.m. to go to work by 5. I got to work the next 3 days, then I have a day off. So, yay! Um, but yeah, like I said, I've been doing some divination tonight, and I wanted to do an open reading for you. Now, I hope this was enlightening. I hope it helps you, and I hope that it has brought some insight into whatever situation you're going through. All right. With that said, have a good night, and until next time.